Hey everyone, today I have the HHA Tetra Max RYZ Tournament Edition bow sight. So this is a 2-pin sight that comes on here. It's a slider sight. HHA has been around for a very long time. So I'm going to do my honest review over this bow sight, show you how to level it, and then I'll have a different video showing how to actually select the sight tapes for this bow sight. So I'm going to get it mounted on the bow, show you how to level it up, and then at the end, I'll give you my opinion on the sight. On the HHA bow sight, you only have a second axis and a third axis adjustment. So as you can see, I've got the Hamsky level on the rail of the sight to level my second axis. And as you can see, it is set level to the rail of the sight right now. And I went ahead and threw a Hamsky onto the riser of my bow, and that is level as well. So they are actually lined up really well. And then you can see the second axis is actually off on the sight itself. So I'll go ahead and show you how to adjust that. So there are 2 screws in which the windage lock mounts to. One on the top and then another one on the bottom here. These will be your adjustment screws. So what you'll do is just loosen up the top one just a little bit, and then it'll actually pivot on the bottom here. So it'll kind of leave the top a little tighter than the bottom. Once you have both of those screws on the back loosened, you can see how well it pivots. You just pretty much got to grab on the scope housing and move it up or down to level it. My riser's level. My sight is level to the rail now. And my sight is level to the rail. So now my second axis is set. And I will go ahead and show you how to adjust the third axis. So now I've got my second axis set, and I'll set my third. So there's a couple different ways to do it. You'll need a Hamsky tool or something like that so you can level the riser. This way here, I've got it in a bow vise and I just have it angled down. Probably a little bit more of an accurate way to do it is to use a Hamsky tool, throw in this pin, draw a level line on a wall, or check a door jamb and see if it is level. And what you'll do is you'll draw your bow back with this on the riser. If you're right-handed or left-handed, depending on that, will depend on which side this will be on. But if you're right-handed, it'll be on this side of your riser. And what you'll do is put the top of this pin and the bottom of this pin right on that level line. And as you're angled down, you'll look at your level with this on both lines and see if your bubble's off. And then you'll make that third axis adjustment in or out to make sure that both these are on that level line, and then that your scope housing is level while you're drawn back. So that option is a little bit more accurate just because you're going to be drawn back and it's going to show the torque that you're putting into the bow. So I recommend that, but once you actually get that somewhat set, I would go out into the field, draw a vertical line or a level line onto the target, and then shoot uphill and downhill and see if you're consistently missing to the right or left, and then make that little adjustment so then you're always hitting that vertical line, and that'll be the most accurate. Anyway, just for this purpose of this video, I'll show you doing the vise one. I'll make another video showing you shooting in the third axis and doing the vertical line so you kind of see what I'm actually talking about. But for right now, I'll show you how to adjust the third axis on this sight. So you can see we are level on the riser, and when we look at the bow sight, it is off a little bit. To adjust the third axis, they send you this little Allen wrench, and what you'll have to do is unlock this lock screw here, and then you'll stick the Allen wrench that they sent you right into this, and that will adjust your third axis. So go ahead and show you. We are level there, and still level on the riser. So that should get us somewhat close. Now I'll go out and actually shoot it in to make sure it's good. I'm going to give you my honest opinion of this bow sight and the features I like and don't like about it. So the one thing that I like is you can buy this in a short or long dovetail version, which will fit a Matthews bridge lock or the side of any other bow. So that is a really nice feature. You have the micro adjust third axis, which is super easy to set in. So I really like that. And the second axis is pretty easy on this Tetra Max. So the bottom screw here is going to be where you can lift it up and down. And the top screw you just might have to loosen up just a little bit to get that set. You have the micro adjust windage, and then you can lock it in without using an Allen wrench, which is really nice. But if you really want to lock it in, you can use an Allen wrench. They do have this infinite bracket on here. So if you do have Matthews, you can switch it around to fit about any bow, whether it's a Hoyt, PSE, the Picatinny mounts. You can just switch that around and it'll fit any bow. So you don't have to buy any other parts to get it to fit, which is really nice. The other thing that I like is you can lock the wheel in, and with the Tetra Max, you can actually remove this wheel and you have another one that you can put dual sight tapes on. So if you're shooting two different arrows or you have 3D and hunting setup, you can just switch this wheel out and you'll automatically have the right sight tape on. With the Tetra Max RYZ version and just Tetra Max RYZ, you have dual indicators here. As you can see with this scope housing, you have dual pins vertically. The top one is a 0.019 and the bottom one is a 0.01. And I really like that, especially for shooting longer distances. It's nice to have that bottom one a little bit smaller. They do have long range sight tapes now for this, which is really nice. You have an ability to change to brighten and dim the sight with by putting this in or out. So you can put it all the way in, which is going to dim it, and then if you open it all the way up, it's going to allow the most light to your pins. So that's another nice little feature on it. You can still add a sight light if you wanted to there. The other thing that I really do like is just being able to zero this sight really easily. What you're going to do is basically make sure you're all the way up, and that's going to be your zero. Then there's two screws here. You're just going to loosen that and set it wherever you need it to on the rail. Set those two screws, and now you are set at 20 or whatever you want to set it to. You have that positive stop there, which is a really nice feature of this bow sight. It is really smooth, easy to dial. There is nothing in the way, which I really like that. Another feature is the level is easy to see, easy to read, and I do like the two green pins. That's a really nice feature. I feel like the green is just the easiest for my eyes to see personally, so I like that. And it is really quick and easy to set this side up. I know you only have two adjustments on it, but they are just really easy to make a little fine-tune adjustment on, tighten up, and your axis are set. And then to sight this bow in is really easy. What you're going to do is, for the sight tape anyway, you're going to have this top indicator be at 20. So you're going to sight it in there. Make sure this sight setup tape is at 0. So move this up and down to wherever you're at 20. And then what you'll do is use that top pin, go all the way to 60, and whatever number is on here, you'll match that with the sight tape, and then you'll throw that on. You'll leave this at 60, and then you'll, so you can lock this wheel in, remove this with your sight tape on, make sure you're still at 60, and that top indicator will be at that 60 mark of your new sight tape. It's easy to switch scope housings on here. You basically can leave this whole setup as a together, loosen up these two screws, slide it off, slide your new scope housing on, and you should be set. The one thing you will have to do is just figure out where you were at on the rail, and then you can just buy different sight tape wheels to put on and off to match that scope housing. So it's really nice that you have those removable and you can switch them out. It's very easy by removing one set screw. You can switch for whatever different scope housing you're using or setup that you are using. And that's one thing I was trying to figure out, the difference between the Tetra Max and just the Tetra. And the biggest thing that I found is it's just the removable sight tape rings. So on the Max you can remove it, whereas the Tetras, I think that you can't remove them. So you basically only have one sight tape. And then if you want to change it, you got to take that sight tape completely off. Whereas this, you just can replace that sight tape wheel, which is a really nice feature, especially if you're going to shoot 3D or anything like that. I do wish that it had 3 vertical pins. Just for hunting, it's nice to have 3 indicators. I feel like things always move. So 2 is, yes, you can gap shoot or kind of judge, but 2 is definitely better than 1. But it is nice to have that 3rd pin just to make sure you're covered all the way out to 40 or maybe even 50. And it is nice to have them individually adjustable, whereas these are set and the indicators are set, so they are what they're going to be. So you can't just shoot 20 and 30 or 20 and 40. It is set. Overall, it's a very good sight, well built. Like I said, you can easily switch out scope housings if you don't like that 2-pin, but you are only going to have the 2 indicator marks, or if you get the single pin version, you're only going to get 1 indicator mark. So those are the only downsides I think of this sight. Other than that, it is a really good sight. I'll be comparing several high-end sights head to head, telling you what I like and don't like about each one, and then pick an overall winner that I'll be using for my 2024 season. So if you want to follow along and see which one I choose, please subscribe to my channel so you don't miss that video. And I really hope that you found this to be helpful. As always, I really appreciate you watching, and stay hidden.